This story starts with a bold decision, the decision to step out, take control, and build something of your own. Entrepreneurs are not made in comfort zones. They are made in moments of courage, moments when you decide to move forward, lead, and grow. Welcome to ISFA, Indian Small Business and Franchise Association, the driving force behind India's thriving small business and franchise community. Since 2008, we have stood alongside India's MSMEs, enabling ideas to become enterprises and entrepreneurs to become leaders. Today, over 6.3 million MSMEs in India are growing, learning, and expanding with ISFA. With 1,200 plus live events every year and more than 1,500 industry enablers as partners, ISFA is a dynamic network of opportunity. We're shaping India's franchise future with fairness, transparency, and trust. At ISFA, we connect ambitious entrepreneurs to top global and Indian franchise brands. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, ISFA gives you the platform to grow. With funding support, skill building programs, and international trade access, we help you unlock your potential. Small businesses don't stay small for long with ISFA. They become tomorrow's success stories. So take the leap. Join ISFA today. Let's build the future of entrepreneurship together.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of ISFA, I warmly welcome you all to today's webinar on how to invest in the right franchisee. We are delighted to see such a keen response from aspiring entrepreneurs, business owners, investors, and industry professionals who are keen to explore the dynamic world of franchising. Your presence here reflects a growing interest in building sustainable businesses through informed and strategic franchisee investment. Today's session is designed to help you make informed and confident investment decisions. It is now my privilege to welcome our esteemed speaker, Mr. Gaurav Maria, Chairman of Indian Small Business and Franchise Association ISFA and founder of the Franchise India Group. Mr. Maria is one of India's leading franchisee expert and a pioneer in organized franchising. With over 3 decades of experience in building and strategizing the franchisee ecosystem through his visionary leadership, he has guided more than 22,000 brands and entrepreneurs toward scalable growth and has impacted over 10 lakh investors while constantly promoting ethical and transparent franchising practice across the industry. We have honor to have with us today, sir. Over to you, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Akshat. Thanks for inviting me and hosting this webinar. Welcome, friends. Welcome to this very special webinar, which has been hosted by Indian Small Business and Franchise Association. As a chair of the association, it's my responsibility that we constantly spread education among people who are investing into franchise industry. I know it's a difficult decision when you choose a franchise opportunity. You're always full of fear, anxiety, because would this opportunity is right for you? Are you making the right decision? Is the brand well researched? Is the company which you have chosen is the right company? Their financial model or the obligations are right? Are you getting into a right legal structure? So we decided as association that we should run these education webinars to educate our investor community, because before they invest, they should really know and do their own study, and it will make their investment much safer. Why it is also equally important, because any other investment decision you do is actually controlled by a regulator. So regulator defines when you buying to buy a mutual fund or investing into share, there is a SEBI as a regulator which controls everything. But when it comes to franchising, which is even more difficult decision, because now you're investing into an active business, it becomes even more complex. And you need somebody who comes along with you. And that's a role ISFA plays. As an association, we assist our members in terms of taking the right decision, what business they should choose. We also work with them in terms of doing validation of the opportunity. Every opportunity has, some strengths and some weaknesses. And as association, our job is to guide you through this whole process. And eventually, we also have a very strong legal panel which helps you, assist you not only at the buying decision, but even in the journey as you are as a franchisee running. At any given point in time, you need help. Association would be available to do that. So I will encourage you that you should be in touch with Akshat for discussing your membership. We have a short presentation which I will run, and this presentation comes with my experience of 28 years in franchising. We have helped more businesses and more entrepreneurs than anybody in the world. So I'll share a very short presentation, and later, if you want this presentation for your reference, we'll be happy to share with you. So this would become your basic tool. Before you invest, you need to investigate enough that you are able to make the right decision. Friends, also, if you want to ask any questions, you can use the Q&A box and ask your questions. Akshat, my colleague from the association, would continue to see the questions, and if any questions which are important, I will take it up at the end of the session. So obviously, association was formed in 2008 with the idea to facilitate franchising in the industry in India. And we are very proud today that we are one of the associations which has worked with across sectors, across companies, brands, businesses, global associations, global delegations. And we have helped millions of entrepreneurs in terms of taking the right decision when they join franchise industry. We also work very closely with a lot of opportunities. These are large corporations, even startups, where we validate and verify these opportunities who become our member organizations. We also promote a lot of delegations. If you have an opportunity which you want to take it to global markets, our association is proud that this year alone, in 2026, we will do over 25 countries where we are promoting our Indian brands internationally. So now let's get into the topic for today. The topic for today is how you should choose the right opportunity. Before I go to the assessment tool, we have created an assessment tool which I will run through. I will always tell you that you have to connect four dots. These four dots are very, very important when you are choosing the opportunity. A lot of people rush into an opportunity by only looking at return on investment. Actually, return on investment is based on a lot of parameters. And that's something which, unless and until we are aware about it, we will never be able to make the right decisions. So, what are these four dots? The first dot is the industry. Why you're choosing that industry over any other industry? What is your strategic fitment that you want to be part of that industry? How does you feel that this industry outlay for next 5, 10 years look like? Which are the major competition in that industry? So that's one decision which is very, very complex to do it. And you need to see your strategic fitment and your the markets which you operate in, what kind of strategic fitment you have. The second dot is the brand you choose. Why are you choosing that brand over other opportunities available in the market? Today, as an investor, you have too many choices. You have passive investment choices, you have active investment choices. You can start a new business, you can buy a franchise, you can even do area franchise, you can do master franchise. And then you have to go through that which brand you want to do that. So this decision comes with a lot of filters, right? So you have to then first define what you're looking at and then choose the right brand. And then you have to investigate enough on that brand before you decide and narrow down on that. The third dot, which is even more complex, is to understand your own financial goal. What is your financial goal? What you want from that investment, right? And people have short term goals and they have long term goals. And that would also depend the life of the opportunity. Say, what does the opportunity look like to you? Is this an opportunity which would be good for next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Look at a K-12 school which can run for 100 years, healthcare which can run for 50 years or maybe more. So you need to also look at the life of the opportunity and your financial goals linked to that. And your personal goals also have to be linked to that. That's a third dot. And the fourth dot is to understand your own micro market, which market you are coming from. Unless you are able to connect these four dots, and you have to do it in sequence. First is the industry, second is the brand you're choosing and why this brand. Then the third is your financial goal, and the fourth is your micro market. And the association, our association would help you navigate these four parts. Once you have done that, then I encourage you to go through a 25 point, which we have broken into 5 assessment checks. And these are all proprietary with us. And then you have to do your self-score. Our association have dedicated consultants who work with you to do that assessment score for you. And that assessment score would be telling you, is this right opportunity for you? And we have done this with over thousands of investors and have matured over the time that if your assessment score goes above 60, then this opportunity is rightly suited for you. So let's understand what are the 5 main assessment goals which you need to do. And I'll further break down into all of these. One is your self-assessment. So we are all unique. We are in a unique situation. We have a unique investment. We have a unique market we want to operate on. Because we are unique, we need to understand what is right for you as an individual investor versus just following the trend. A lot of times we follow the trend and we are not doing our self-assessment, what is right for this. And that's wrong. You need to assess yourself, what is right for you. So first part is your self-assessment. Second part, as I said, is your industry assessment. What is the assessment for that industry? Third part is your market assessment. Which market you're going to operate and run that. And fourth part is your peer assessment, which means a peer-to-peer assessment, how this business has performed for others. And finally, it is a brand assessment. So we have to club these 5 assessments, and then I will go through different points which you need to cover. And then you need to do your self-score, that what is your score and how this opportunity is rating for you. Akshat, next slide. So let's go through these points, and every single assessment tool has further points on that. So if you look at a self-assessment, it starts with your entrepreneurial mindset. Are you in a perfect entrepreneurial mindset? A lot of times we get people who are working in job and they are looking for a business. They are not ready, both financially or sometime emotionally, socially, for the entrepreneurial journey they want to take. So you have to really see at this stage of your life, are you completely available and your mindset is very entrepreneurial? And when I say entrepreneurial, I also say that are you ready to take that risk or that plunge, which can take some gestation. You cannot start making money in the business in the first day of your business. It might take you 6 months, it can take 1 year, and sometimes even longer for doing that. If you are not in that complete assessment your mindset, you will not be able to overcome this. And earlier entrepreneurial journey, especially in India, 60% of business buyers are first-time business buyers. They've never done business. So it can be very overwhelming for them. And it can be even more overwhelming if you leave your job and start a business. And the first few months can be very, very difficult for you. Your cash flows are broken because you're no more getting a salary. And now you don't get the income which is coming in. Similarly, it can be very high pressure for somebody who takes loan and starts a business. You have a lot of cost of capital, you are pressured on that, and then your business takes its own time to settle down. So ask yourself, are you in completely in your entrepreneurial mindset? Then second is, what is your financial goal? Sometimes a lot of these professionals come to us who are in job. I normally would tell them, first you need to think your replacement goal. If you're making 2 lakh rupees a month in a job, can you find a business which can give you at least 2 lakh rupees so your cash flows don't break? So what is your financial goal? What is your immediate requirement from your cash flows? What is your maybe a short-term requirement where you are creating growth and building the business is growing? And finally, a long-term where you are creating value. So from creating income to creating value, what is your financial goal? Then the third part is the capital. What is your situation of capital? And people have to be very, very honest about it. What is free cash for you? What is free cash lying with you? What is your current asset and liabilities? If you take too much of loan, India, the cost of capital is very expensive, very, very expensive. So I normally don't recommend people to take too much of loan. So what is your capital? And there is no shame, even if you have to start small. Sometimes people come to me and say, I have 50 lakh rupees to invest. And if I do the assessment, they are comfortable with 30 with them and they're borrowing 20. So I say, why you have to borrow? Start something within 30 itself, which is your own free cash. So you don't have to have a liability sitting every month with you for just cost of capital is coming to you. So be very, very honest about it. I call the 60-40 rule. So anything which you are starting as a new business, Your capital investment should be 60% of allocated money, and 40% should always be with you for your working capital, because working capital is more important than the initial investment, because that would build your business, that would get you past the gestation cycles, and you are able to stabilize the business. And the fourth thing is, what is your time availability for your business? This is also a problem. A lot of people invest into businesses and they don't have time to do that. And that's wrong, because I call the three ROIs in every business. One is return on investment, second is return on involvement, and third is return on intelligence. So people only talk about return on investment. They don't talk about the other two ROIs. To me, that is very important. As a franchisee, you actually buying yourself a job. You're working in your own business. So you need to see what is the time available with you. And fifth is, what is your fallback plan? So if the business doesn't go as you thought, or it took a little more time, or it's been a little hard for you to get this, do you have a fallback plan? Can you sustain yourself for next 18 months if you're starting the business? Do your self-assessment and be extremely honest about it. Be very conservative on your self-assessment. Then let's go to the second part, which is industry assessment. What is the overall size of this industry? And is growing, not growing, has challenges? What are the key players? All that you have to understand. Then you have to understand the growth prospects in the industry. Is this opportunity which you are thinking about is fitting the next 5 years? It's future fit, which I call future fit. Why? Because everything changes, and especially these times, everything changes. Now, even with geopolitics and a lot of other things, is your business model robust enough to see at least next 5 years or 10 years? Then you have to also understand the supply and demand gap. Is there overcrowded market for this industry or a brand you're doing, or you still have a lot of opportunities available in the market? And finally, what is the next big innovation happening in that industry? So you have to do these assessments and really find out, is this industry right? And remember what I told on the four dots which you connect, that you need to be also seeing your own strategic fit. What kind of experience you carry, education you carry, family background you carry, what kind of business would fit in. Then we get on to market assessment. What is the demographics, market segmentation where you are going to operate this business? What is the need gap in that market? Right? If I was doing a business in Bangalore, what is Bangalore all about? And which part of Bangalore I'm going to operate? What is my, other situation in that, like your target group, your regulations, your real estate, rentals, all these pieces you need to understand and do the assessment, which is market centric. I've seen businesses which do extremely well in one market are not doing good in other market, because the product adaptability or the business model adaptability or the financial stability in different markets have different cases. Like, for example, if you are Pune and you're starting a business, say gym, it's an overcrowded market, and there were 13,000 operational gyms there. Why would you be the next one and still be successful? And these are things, because at ISFA we have strong data. We have a very strong data which are based on different industry, and we can provide you all that data once you become member with us. So that's the third assessment tool. The fourth assessment tool is your peer-to-peer, which means, what is your competitive advantage? If you take this business, what is your advantage? What kind of a brand penetration and performances we have? Is there an entry to barrier? I mean, this is a very big problem in especially small businesses. When you start a small business, you have competition around you, and more competition keep coming in. Do you have an entry barrier? It can be through a exceptional product, proprietary product. It can be through any other advantage you carry, which gives you that some kind of an entry barrier on this. And then last is the product offering and differentiation. I'm a big fan of that, because I have been in last 28 years been working with a lot of brands globally. Today, my own company, Franchise India, runs in 19 countries, and I have opportunity to work with the best of the best brands. I am big fan of people who have genuine product differentiator. One of the companies I got associated early on was Subway, and I used to feel that while it's not the favorite food for India, but still has 1,000 stores in India, because when you think about sandwich, you think about Subway. It has a product offering which was essentially proprietary. Even a basic product like that has to have some form of differentiation. So find out why you are choosing this brand and what kind of differentiation they bring in. And finally, you need to also see the brand assessment. What kind of credibility, legacy, brand commitment this brand has? Do this brand has right standardization and sustainability? Because if there is no standardization, how would they duplicate the business model for you? Then third is, what is operating cost and reinvestment? And this is very critical. I've seen so many contracts, people never talk about reinvestment. Every business, once you start, you put a capex, but it might require reinvestment after a few years. And you are not ready for it because you never planned for it. So you need to really think through, is there a reinvestment which needs to come? Finally, what is the margins and return on investment? And that also has to be seen from a lot of variance, right? Variance, which means in times we are living in, it's very uncertain times. Things change very fast. And we are also hit by inflation. Maybe the first year you're good, but the third year is not good because your inflation is gone up, but your cost has not, I mean, your product pricing has not gone up. And I see a lot of businesses fail in third or fourth year because we have a very big problem of inflation. Something which was looking good now is not looking good after 3 years because inflation has hit. And then we come down to the legal part of it. And this needs specialists. Don't try to do your own agreements. Don't cut, copy, paste. It's the most important investment you need to do. At ISFA, we provide a special legal help. While I will always encourage that you should also have external legal to support you. You need to see your agreements. You need to see your commercial terms. You need to see what is kind of conflicts it can come in. What is your conflict resolution? What is your exit available in the business? Can you transfer this rights to somebody else? All that pieces has to be done, and you need somebody extremely qualified who can advise you in this. And finally, what is the training and marketing support you're going to get out of the company? And they all say, oh, we are going to support your marketing, but it's not very tangible when it is defined. What is this marketing mean? What kind in dollar terms it means? What in rupee terms it means? Which means that how much they're going to invest on you, and what percentage would has to be pulled back from your royalties which you're paying to the company is going to be invested back on you. And finally, the risk hedging. If what is a risk you carry on this and how you hedge that risk, this also needs to be done. So friends, this is about 25 different points which you need to go point by point. Sit down with somebody who has more experience, has done more work in this industry before you make this very critical decision of starting your own franchise. I always call that there are three parts to the journey. First is information. Gather as much information you can do. Second is evaluation, which is this tool, how you evaluate your opportunity versus all the other opportunities. And third is negotiation. You need to negotiate the right contract with the company. If you do these three in order, you'll always make an informed decision. And that's the endeavor of Indian Small Business and Franchise Association, that we help our fellow members that they are able to make the right decisions. So friends, if you are in the journey of looking at starting your own business, reach out to Akshat. A very small fee is there for membership. He will do that membership. He will be available for assisting you in that journey. These are all the advantages you get becoming a member with Indian Small and Franchise Association. You also get 1 year membership to visit shows which would be given by Franchise India, supported by Indian Small Business and Franchise Association. You'll also get invitation to these shows, and you'll also get invitations to a lot of other opportunities, meeting international delegations, and so on and so forth. So friends, if you are in the journey of starting your entrepreneurial journey or looking at starting a franchise, your first step should be about securing the knowledge which you need before you make the most important decision of your life. So I will pass it back to Akshat for putting the thank you note from his side. Friends, if you also have any questions for me, you can reach out to me as well. My email ID is gm@gauravmaria.com. You can also visit my personal site called gauravmaria.com, which would help a lot of videos. I've done a lot of content, which is all free available for all of you to review. And if you have any assistance required, please reach out to Akshat. Akshat works very closely with me, and at association, we are available for any kind of assistance, knowledge, or any other value addition which we can do for you. So thank you very much. Over to you, Akshat.
Thank you very much, sir. for your detail insight with our audience. Thank you, audience. As we are conclude today's webinar, I sincerely thanks our esteemed speaker, Mr. Gaurav Maurya, for his valuable insight and guidance on how to invest in the right franchisee. I also extend my gratitude to all the participants for joining us and making this session engaging and meaningful. Please follow us on our social media handle for real-time industry update in franchisee or MSMEs, and join us as a member so that you can get the real industry feedback. Also you get the real evaluative industry franchisee opportunity with us. So our team will connect with you after the session, and we are discussing detail for the franchisee opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, friends. I have put my email ID on the chat box, so you can reach me if you have any questions. Thank you very much. Thank you, Akshay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.